For the 23-24 season, the 1878 FM podcast is sponsored by Green King Sport, where football is more than a game. Green King Sport venues are showing every Everton televised game this season. So instead of trying to struggle to get a game on, why don't you get your mates together and get down to your local Green King Sports pub and get closer to the action. This season, Green King have launched the Green King Sport Instagram page, which will be home to fan content, deals and competitions throughout the season. They've already given away Champions League final tickets and signed shirts, so get over there and don't miss out. So why don't you drop them a follow on Instagram, and then you won't be missing out on all the competitions and the giveaways. You'll also be helping out Toffee TV, so head over there now. Welcome to the 1878 FM podcast. It is episode 12. And this is a happy episode. We are talking about...
Is it because it's Halloween?
It's Halloween, and we will be talking about Halloween. Yeah. Ironically, this won't be out on Halloween, but there you go. But we are talking about an Everton victory, an Everton away victory at West Ham United at the weekend. West Ham 0, Everton 1. It meant back-to-back away victories for Everton in the Premier League, which is very odd.
It's not back-to-back away victories in the Premier League for Everton.
It isn't back-to-back away victories.
It isn't.
They've won two out the last three.
Yeah.
Apologies, two out the last three.
Although the derby, I
don't class that as even a game.
No.
It was an injustice what happened there. So let's put that to one side.
Yeah.
But Dave, firstly, I hope you're good, and secondly, what a good win that was at the weekend.
A very good win, and built upon the foundations that we hoped would be built upon. Don't you think? When we talked in the last couple of weeks, saying that they hoped that better performances would result in better results. And a very, very important 3 points on the road. And suddenly life is looking a little bit better. Not a huge amount better, but a little bit better.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Ped, it was a very David Moyesy type away win, wasn't it? For us?
The irony of that.
Moyesy to Moyesy, wasn't it?
No, it was. It was a good performance, good professional performance. Job done. So, Dave, were you at the game?
I wasn't, unfortunately. No,
I
couldn't make it.
Had you saved all your away credits to go to QPR?
No. So what happened was the weird thing, and I know what you mean, because why was I at QPR away on Saturday and not at West Ham?
He covers the EFL. He's got to be there.
Asking the question.
Do you know what it was?
Yeah.
Is the truth of the matter was that I had a lads reunion from the lads I was at college with many, many moons ago. And they were down this weekend. And so we needed to find something to do on the Saturday. And so we do what we call pub avoidance. To stop you being in the alehouse at lunchtime is like try and do something else, an activity that's going to keep you out of there. Yeah. So we normally go and try and find a match, and it was either a case of seeing maybe Wickham or Reading or one of the London clubs. And anyway, QPR had Leicester, which actually, all things considered, was a pretty good one to go to. I know the press officer at QPR, who's a good lad.
Clang!
Clang. Yeah. And then, so I sorted out tickets for that. So we went to that as just something to do on the Saturday afternoon. So I wasn't at West Ham away on Sunday.
Sadly. And Dave,
I just want to say I have pub avoidance at midday. I call it sleeping.
You do, yeah. Fair play. I was going to say, Dave, so did you enjoy seeing Winksy enjoy the ball?
Did he enjoy the ball?
Did he enjoy the ball? He very much enjoyed the ball.
He did. There you go. That was it.
Yeah.
Shorter than I thought it was going to be.
I thought.
Hey, again.
Yeah, he scored a goal. Scored the
worldie, didn't he?
Fair play. Fair play.
Leicester looking good to coming back up.
Although I didn't think it was their best performance on Saturday. I thought that they looked like they were going through the motions a little bit. A lot of them. But the thing is, I think that they've done so well that actually I think against QPR, they knew that they could probably win comfortably. And so they never really got out of third gear.
Let me just say as well, Dave, I think that your mates coming to see you from college, the way you described it was almost like a straight to Netflix film.
It feels like,
do you know what I mean? Like the hijinks of a weekend.
Yeah, the lads avoiding the pub.
With the lads where they're all tucked up in bed by like, they should be.
I don't know. I've seen a couple of Dave's Instagram pictures. They looked like they were hitting it hard.
Well, I mean, hard is one way of describing it. But
what would you describe it then, Dave?
medium to hard.
Medium to hard. Again, for men of that age, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, quite topical, yeah.
All very much out of practice, but, you know,
Well,
we all tried our best and pretended to be 25 again, even though when you see the state of us the next day, then clearly we're not.
But that's just experience rather than age, I think.
So.
You know. But back to Everton. Good win, clean sheet. The first time in 41 away games Everton had won and kept a clean sheet. You have to go back to Rafa Benitez, about 7 managers ago. Last time Everton... Last time Everton kept a clean sheet on the road. And now the challenge is with 2 home games coming up, and again, recording this before the Carabao Cup game, with Burnley and then obviously Brighton at home at the weekend. The opportunity for Everton to get a couple of home... It'll be difficult, but to get a couple of home wins and really start trying to build up that home form, Dave. Because obviously away, I think we spoke about this last week, even though we were talking about a derby defeat, which we robbed. We'd said in general, away under Sean Dyche, Everton had been all right, had been a consistent level. It was the home form, and this is an opportunity for Everton to try to address that this week, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And again, we've said that, you know, confidence breeds confidence, and hopefully, you know, they're going into this part of the season in a better frame of mind because results have gone a bit better. You would fancy our chances more now against Brighton, obviously, then Palace away, which is, you know, see if they can get something there. And then, you know, I still think that United at home as well, you know, there's points to be had there, definitely. So yeah, I'm you know, listen, the situation is that things are getting better, slowly but surely. And yeah, it's good to see.
Yeah, I think so. I think you just need these wins, don't you? You don't, like you said before, you get a win, it just gives you such a lift. Everything feels a little bit better. And with these 2 home games coming up, but neither will be easy, and obviously both of them are different challenges. 2 teams at different places, different levels. But you're absolutely right. You get through these 2, and you look at Palace, and you think, got an opportunity there. And then if it is set up nicely for that Manchester United game, you're thinking to yourself, I mean, obviously things can change very quickly in football, but who's to say that by the time we play Manchester United, you know, we're a team that picked up a few points, and it's Man United who'd all the pressures on, because obviously it does seem to be mounting on Ten Hag. And you think going into that international break, I know it's a couple of weeks away, but if we can, and we have picked up a few results, this could be a big section of games now that could start shaping our season. And the funny thing is, it's that thing as well, isn't it? When you look at a block of fixtures before you enter them and you go, that'll be tough. But when you're in them and you start ticking them off and you have got decent results, all right, you're not going to win all of them. But when you start ticking them off and go, actually, we were through the worst of it, and we picked up, you know, I don't know, 5-6 points where everyone thought we were going to get none. And we suddenly, because it is about Dave, it is for me, Dave, getting into that. It was funny because after we won, you listen to like news bulletins or whatever, and they're like, Everton are now 5 points clear of the relegation zone. Where what you want them to be saying is Everton are in touching distance of the top half of the table.
Well, we're 4 points behind West Ham.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. You want them to start looking at it. And when people start talking like that, and you start thinking like that, things start becoming more positive. And you are looking at... No one ever says Crystal Palace are so many points above the relegation zone. They always just say Crystal Palace are 11th.
Because they're always 11th.
They're always 11th.
No matter what happens, they're always 11th.
They live in this little... bubble, their own little universe.
I think it's just reserved for Palace. That 11th, they're just like, listen, we've got to get them in 11th. Like last year, they were like that to Roy. Roy come in because 11th slipping away.
Yeah.
And he managed.
I mean, what we'd give for 11th.
Well, I think a win would get us 11th, Dave. So there you go.
Saturday, I mean, at the end of the season, you know what we give for 11th.
Yeah,
but given what the last couple of years have been like.
Absolutely. I mean, you're saying there, Ped, United is actually after the international break, so we've got them the first game back, which sometimes might be a good thing for us. A lot of their players will have been away international and all that. And I think if 4 points from the next 2 games, even though I do believe there's 6 points for Everton, I think Everton could easily get 6 points. I say easily, Everton could get 6 points. Alternately, they might win either game, but there's an opportunity, and I think if they come out the next 2 with at least 4 points, going into that international break, I said this today to Ped Dave, I think you'd look and go, since we come back from the last international break, that's a decent points return going into the next one for that block of fixtures, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd agree. And it's just nice to be looking up a little bit rather than looking down.
Yeah.
And actually, as you say, sort of comparing ourselves with, the dizzy heights of mid-table, as opposed to looking at the trap door behind us, and we are getting further away from that. It's just, as I say, I mean, it's a low bar, isn't it, really?
No, it is.
It's a very, very low bar, but it's all relative to what things have been like of late. And in that respect, it is, it's quite rosy, isn't it, to be kind of like going, oh, look, not far off.
Know what I would say about Sunday is probably for the first time, and I have given him stick, Sean Dyche, but it probably for the first time on Sunday where I actually thought, do you know what? Like, we are quite consistent, aren't we? I'm starting to understand, you get, of course, as a fan, you get frustrated. And when you have a block of games where you're not picking up wins and you're seeing your team lose and you don't pick out the positives because as a fan, you don't ever do that. When you get beat, everything's doom and gloom. It was probably for the first time I just thought, you know what, that game, we've played well, but things could have easily have gone the other way. I just thought, you know what, he has got a point on the consistency. We have been quite consistent. I still don't think you should refer back to XG in these things because you never get those games back, by the way.
We lost the SC on Sunday, didn't we?
No, I know what I'm saying, but you're never getting your Fulham back, you're never getting Luton back, and you're never getting Wolves back. Doesn't matter whether you say, well, we played the same. You're never getting those games back to. But it was the first time I thought, fair play to him. We've gone out there and we've put in a performance which is similar to other performances, and today it's all fell our way and we've won. And instead of going from those games last season and the season before where 1 minute you I mean, very rarely, but 1 minute you're having a really good game and that's the bar, lads, that's the bar. Where to the next game you're on the floor with it. I just thought Sunday was me. I just thought, yeah, that's the level. Of course you want the level to be higher, but you can see us beating teams or getting good results with that level of consistency.
I've said for a while the players are not as bad as people said they were here. The decent players and the players who are good enough to get Everton into a bracket. It's about consistency. If Everton could get consistent level of performances, Everton are good enough to be in a pack that potentially could be a very, very outside bet for like chasing a European place. A very, very outside bet, but certainly in that middle bracket in the Premier League. Let's say that more often. The reason why I would say maybe a touch higher is someone I'm going to ask you about now, Dave, which is obviously Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And at the weekend, he showed us another little side to him now where it's a brilliant turn and finish for the goal. And that's something that he's really developing. And just having him fit and available again and looking strong and sharp and confident and a little bit arrogant, I think it changes the face of this team as well, doesn't it? And gives us that extra little bit that maybe some other teams simply don't have.
Well, I think, a lot of it can be attributed to Beto's arrival as well, because he's had to up his game, hasn't he? He's had to look over his shoulder a little bit and he's, because before, and it's human nature, isn't it? He didn't have anybody vying for his position. I'm not saying that he wasn't trying, but human nature is such that actually if you think that somebody could potentially take your place, you know that you've got to go out there and prove it.
And the less pressure on him because he knows that if he was feeling a little bit tight or whatever, then the manager's got a viable option to use instead of him, which takes the pressure off him. But
but no, I mean, we saw at the weekend the cutting edge that we haven't had. And I think, it's fine margins, isn't it, in terms of, the overall play of the team hasn't changed dramatically, but certain decision-making has been instrumental in which way those results go. And it's been tight at the back, keeping a clean sheet, and then having that cutting edge with Dominic. I mean, nearly a second from Decore as well, which would have put the game to bed. But yeah, it's just, and these, to be fair to Dyche, I think these are obviously things that they've worked on, because he's known that fundamentally there's probably not been a huge amount wrong. It's just about actually tightening up at the back and actually making sure you take their chances. And actually it's how you professionally manage the game as well, I think.
It's the home form for me, Dave. It's
that's disappointing.
Luton's second half was absolutely appalling. And Arsenal, when we went behind, they were the two things that made me just really question, like, what is the instruction? But I thought against Bournemouth, we done everything right. We were intense. We got stuck into them. We nicked the ball high and went at them. We scored 3. We could have, if we'd have walked out the game 6-0 winners, I don't think they could have really argued about it. And now that's what we have to take forward to Burnley and Brighton. That same intensity, that same desire to get the game done.
But you would think as well that the away form and the home form are linked in so much as from a pressure point of view. When you've not been doing well and then you feel, 40,000 fans breathing down your neck. And the expectation is such that I think that's been, a contributory part of the poor performances. I think almost like too scared to make those mistakes. And you would think that now with some better results and some more confidence, stroke borderline arrogance at times, which if managed in the right way is no bad thing, then that should actually be something that they can bring into the home form as well. You would hope so anyway. That makes logical sense to me.
We're not used to winning, Dave. That's a simple fact. We're not used to winning games, and we're not used to winning games at home. The crowd obviously gets impatient. We're both there. We know. We're part of it. We know we get impatient because every point has felt like it's magnified because of the amount of 1-0 wins. If you can get an early goal, and again, this is why I think the Burnley game's so important, because with it being in the cup, it's like the pressure's off in a way. I don't think anyone's really putting too much on this. Of course, we want us to win. If we could get an early goal in this game and then we go on and win like we did in the Bournemouth game, and people start feeling that little bit of freedom of we will score goals. That's the most important thing, isn't it? We will score goals. We will go out and do it. Then the next game becomes, no one's looking at that. I don't look at that Brighton game now going, these are going to batter us. No. And I think we'll give them a game. But there's that little bit of, I think now we've just got to all relax a little bit, and there's a lot of
wins help that though.
Of course, that's what I'm saying. You feel you're more patient if you can see this almost the science behind it, isn't it? So,
we've had 2 years that have felt like even Seamus Coleman said it on the BBC thing, didn't he? He's like, it just feels like one long season. The more games you win and the clean sheets you get start to give you a new belief and a new confidence that you're right. If we can score goals here, which means if we can score goals and we're all feeling like we can score goals, then we all relax because we know it's
goals
coming.
From multiple sources as well, I think, which is important. It's not just goals coming from one person up top.
Absolutely,
in the form of Dominic. We know that there's goals coming from Decore and McNeil and Harrison and people like that. And it's made a huge difference because again, it alleviates the pressure on individuals.
Absolutely,
yeah, definitely.
So great win for Everton. A dead quick day before we move random. Lionel Messi won the Ballon d'Or last night for the 8th time, which me and Ped feel was a fitting way. He's never going to win it again. It was a fitting cherry on the cake for him, winning the World Cup and a reward that way. But there has been a lot of talk about Erling Haaland, and obviously he's had an incredible year and won a treble and scored all kinds of goals and all of that. For you, should it have been Messi, or do you think Haaland deserved it more?
I think from Haaland's point of view and from a City point of view, it's difficult to make an argument for what more he could have done.
Yeah.
I think that's the argument for me.
Okay.
We know that Messi's arguably the greatest footballer of all time.
Yeah.
Some may say.
Yeah.
And if he's not the greatest of all time, then he's certainly in the top 2 or 3, without a doubt. Yeah, it is difficult, because as I say, you look at Haaland's record. I mean, it's been absolutely outstanding.
Yeah.
And maybe it should have gone to him. Maybe does Messi need an 8th? He's won everything in the game. Does he need it? I don't know.
Yeah, don't think he needs it, but he's got it.
It's nice, as you say. It's a nice sort of cherry on the cake, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it would.
Been an outstanding career.
Yeah, it would have been weird him standing there with, having won the World Cup and being the most important player in the World Cup, being second to a guy who had an amazing season but didn't maybe score the goal in the cup final, the European Cup final. No, these are all.
Or FA Cup final.
No, I know, and he is amazing, but I think he'll have his time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's probably in the minds of the decision making process as well.
Yeah.
The fact that Haaland will have many more opportunities. Certainly, if he continues to play the way he does,
absolutely,
the career that he has in front of him, then he he could go on to be an absolutely world-class talent, if not already.
Yeah,
absolutely. And Jude Bellingham winning the first ever English winner of the Copper Trophy, which is the best under-21 player in the world. So
it's quite an accolade, isn't it?
Not bad. He started not bad, has he, already? It's Halloween. And we've got a question for you. It's Ped's question, to be fair.
I've got a question for you as well.
Okay.
So you go
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
But Ped's question... Well, go on, Ped. It was your question.
Hey, why are you saying my question like I'm not here?
I just felt like I was going to take over, but I feel like you need to say it.
No, I think it's important. I think it's important it comes from me.
Yeah, I do, because you are a bit more miserable than me.
With my feeling. But Dave, let me ask you the question. What do you do on Halloween to avoid answering the door? Because I'm purposely staying in late right now. I'll be going out for I'm going to take the dog out for a walk as soon as I get in. And then as soon as I get in from taking the dog out for a walk, I'm going for a run. So... purposely, there's no sweets in the house.
Okay.
There are, and they're mine.
Okay.
Simple as that. Right. They are, and they're mine.
Okay.
So, Dave, is there anything you do specially to avoid answering the door?
Well, do you know what's really funny, first and foremost, is that your question is the same as my question.
Dave. Yes.
Miserable pair.
I was going to say, how do you... I mean, it's worded in a slightly different way, but essentially we're saying the same thing. What is the protocol for this evening when you are somebody who has no interest in being part of Halloween?
I thought you were going to say as someone who's an international podcaster.
No.
Okay.
No, just somebody who has no interest in being part of this thing, whatever it is, right? So, I'm past the age of having kids who are that age where you take them out trick-or-treating, if indeed that is your want. My daughter is out this evening, being 16 somewhere, doing whatever she's doing.
Trick-or-treating, obviously.
Well, yeah, one would hope. And so then that leaves me in the house on my own. Now, I don't have any sweets in, so therefore I feel in a vulnerable position because if the doorbell goes now, which it feasibly could do, by the way, because at the time of recording, it is 6:27
It is, PM. It's prime Halloween.
It is.
Prime Halloween kids and parents time, right? So I'm half expecting the bell to go as we record. And in fact, if it does, then that would be brilliant. It would highlight my point, because in answer to your question, either we carry on with this for another hour and a half, which would then take us beyond the point of reasonable trick-or-treating hour. And then the other thing that I genuinely need to do is I've got to go to Aldi, right? Because I'm out of milk and I'm out of bread and I need a few other bits and bobs. Now, I've already checked prior to coming online here. Yeah. Aldi's open till 10.
It is.
Which is perfect. Yeah. So actually, I could go there and I could just hang around in Aldi for a while.
Middle aisle. Interesting stuff.
Whatever. I mean, that's the thing. I could actually do a bit of a bumper shop tonight, but for the sole reason of actually not being there and not being around and not feeling guilty. Because the other option, of course, is just to stay here and turn the lights off downstairs. Yeah. That's another option.
Yeah. I mean, have you had any trick-or-treaters already? Has the bell gone? No?
No. Nothing at all. As I say, I'm half expecting it to go any time now.
Maybe the kids of the area look at you as like, in the 80s films, not horror films, but there was the all.
He's not the fella in Home Alone.
No,
who shovels the snow.
I think he is though. I think Dave. I hope people look at me as the man from Home Alone. I hope they look at that one going, I am not knocking on that door. Old grumpy McPartland lives there.
Who killed Shakir in 1989.
I've put those rumours out.
Okay, fair
myself.
Enough. Okay.
He's got a basement and he's got a furnace and he's got all those things. But I could see Dave. Dave is the guy at the end of a Scooby-Doo episode where they pull the mask off and it's,
Andy Bush.
Old man Vitty.
Oh, okay. So.
Old man Vitty.
Old man Vitty.
And it's non-existent Bush. It would have got away with it if it wasn't for you pesky kids. So
I'm going to show you a picture actually, which is my favorite thing of all for Halloween. And I hope that I've only just got it on my phone, so I'm going to have to show it up to the camera. Cool. But this is my take on Halloween, and this in many ways sums up my entire attitude to what we're talking about.
I mean, I can see it. It looks like a pumpkin. Does it say off on the pumpkin?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a pumpkin.
Play.
It's a pumpkin that just says fuck off on there. Which I think is
fair play to you, Dave.
Fair enough, Dave. If you want to send that image over to our group, we will put it on the screen.
Yeah,
everybody.
I will do.
We will put it on the screen.
I mean, I think it's a great image, and it makes me laugh every year.
What are your thoughts, though? What are your thoughts, Dave, on the Americanization of Halloween? Because when we were kids, it was, it was the old bin bag dressed as a witch, and now it's all Americanized.
Guy Fawkes was a bigger thing when we were kids. Make the guy sit outside the shop, make some money, go and get some sweets. That was more of a thing.
Now it's like, I mean, what I was thinking of when you go to Aldi or Lidl or whatever, there'll be the bonus of that is you'll get the leftover Halloween stuff.
Yeah, you will.
The cupcakes or the sweets or whatever. That's a bonus.
You've got that like a bendy bully.
Safe like a bendy bully. Take that on with you. But what are your thoughts? Because obviously now, because a bonus is that kids go out in like together with their parents. They're quite young, and they're normally done by 7, I'd say.
Yeah.
So at the time of recording, we've got another half an hour before we're in the clear.
We're in the clear.
Because that's the thing, though. Because like you, Ped, if you haven't got any sweets, you can't take part. And if you haven't got any sweets, you therefore are. Well, you can't open the door to anybody because if the doorbell goes now, right? Ordinarily, if it was a normal night, I would just kind of assume that it's one of the neighbors or somebody or whatever, right? Yeah. But if it goes now, the chances are you think it's going to be trick or treaters, right? Nailed on. I don't have any sweets, so then you open the door, and then that's even worse than turning the lights off and hiding underneath the window, which is my other option, because then you're just delivering disappointment live to an entire group of kids who have all made a huge effort,
and they'll remember that.
They will,
because I always say to them, like, if there's anything going on in the street, I'll always say to my missus, like, just leave it, because they know where you live now. If kids are messing about or whatever, it's like they know where you live now. We don't know who they are, and it's the same with shit. That'll be on their minds forever. Those kids, as they get older,
tight ass Vitty.
They'll remember old man Vitty. They'll remember old man Vitty. And also, Dave, I'm not being funny. After 7 o'clock, I ain't opening the door to fucking anyone. I don't care who you are. I don't give it to me mother, right? Yeah. Unless you text me, I ain't answering the door on any night. Not Halloween. Any night.
Okay, all right.
Any night.
I love the way Dave's described it, like he's being held hostage in his own house by kids.
You are, though, aren't you?
That's kind of how I feel, genuinely.
I could see the fear in your face when you were saying it.
You've got to be prepared. Dave could be going to Aldi for anything. He might need, but if he as he opens the door to go out, and then there's a
oncoming kids
there, and they're all dressed as whatever Toy Story gang or whatever. You're like, no kids, but you could go, I'm going out to get sweets. I've had a busy day.
Get you off the hook. It's just whether or not they come back.
Which is, you don't want them to.
You don't want them to come back, obviously. And then that, therefore, would mean that when you went to Aldi, you would have to buy a said multi-pack of Haribo, maybe, and just come back and go, then kids, you've knocked, have a packet of Haribo. Your parents will thank you for it in an hour when you're running off your tits. I'm going to spend
so long out, though.
You might get away with it.
It's not a quick trip, right?
Imagine if you use that as an excuse, though, you come back and they're just sat waiting for you. You're the cherry. You're the messy 8th Ballon d'Or on their cake.
Or you could go and get sweets. And just say when they do knock, if you do want to answer the door, and just say, hi kids, here you go. Yes, here you go. Here's diabetes. Here's obesity. Good luck. Your parents.
And there's class A drugs your parents will be made.
Your parents are the disgrace.
Not real class A drugs, obviously.
You're a disgrace. You're encouraging obesity.
To be honest with you, if it wasn't for the fact that I've got no bread for a brew in the no bread for a brew in the morning. No milk.
You make brew with bread.
No. I'm getting mixed up between two crucial ingredients. I've got no milk for the morning. I've got no bread for the morning.
Yeah.
Right? If it weren't for those two things, I would actually just go with the turning the lights off option and just keep them really quiet. Because then that way, you can't deliver disappointment if you don't answer the door. And if they don't think you're in, then they'll just, they'll get bored and disappear.
And because you live very much in a very sleepy town that you would probably see in something like Midsummer Murders. You're going to be. It's a bit different for me and Baz, because we live literally in the ghetto. So if they don't think you're in, That's another issue we've got to confront, isn't it? You know,
the ghetto.
But it's different. I mean, listen.
I was waiting for this. Go on, mock Tudor. Go on.
People in mock Tudor are a little bit gated community.
Yeah, I don't have a mock Tudor house.
A little bit different. It's a little bit, when
it's harder for trick or treaters to get through because unless you've got a key fob or an access code, you're not getting in.
You're not getting past the security guard.
No, I mean, what concierge is what it's called.
Baz lives in the kind of areas where ex-councillors and ex-former boxers, that kind of that kind of community. People done well. My area, basically, I literally live in where they filmed The Wire. Essentially, within Liverpool, like if there was The Wire film,
Liverpool version of Baltimore.
Amsterdam. That's where I live.
Okay.
That's if you've watched it, you know that reference. Yeah. So if there is not some reference to me being in, that's also very dangerous.
Okay.
So it's a fine line.
You're treading.
It's a fine line. I'm treading. You know what I mean? But as I said, Dave is.
Make sure you put in the comments what you do to escape the fear of trick or treaters. If you are fearful and you sound like Dave Fitty does, we've got some questions from our Premier members, so I'm going to ask them quickly. Gareth Hughes says, silent fireworks, pointless or a good thing? What's your take on them, Ped? Because you don't like fireworks.
No, you know what? They're pointless because you've bought them.
Okay.
You're setting fire to money. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, fair.
But I appreciate it because
the thought of it,
dogs genuinely.
No.
It's really. My dogs it doesn't get affected by it.
But some do, don't they?
But some do, and it's genuinely awful for them.
Yeah.
Like fireworks practically killed my other dog.
Really, yeah.
Practically killed. He had a heart problem. Don't want to get too seriously, but he had a heart problem, and it really set him off, and it was really horrible. But yeah, that's why I appreciate the gesture, although I still think you're setting fire to money.
Okay, Dave, your take: pointless or a good thing?
I'm of the same mentality, but it's mainly financial for me. Is because it's just such a huge expense of money, and when you kind of see these people do these big fireworks displays and they spend hundreds or sometimes thousands of pounds, and then it all just goes up, and you think, well,
up in flames, practically.
Up in flames, up in smoke.
I like those.
Yeah, it's not really my thing, to be honest with you. So
okay,
so with or without the bangs, I'm out.
Okay.
Drones are much. Get the drones.
The drones
are better.
They're good. Yeah. You'd need a lot though, and again, an expense. But fair play. Mark Mack says, with it being Halloween, would you rather be haunted by a ghost, abducted by an alien for 48 hours, bump into Bigfoot in the woods, or get sucked by Dracula?
Sorry, what's the last one? I mean, what?
I imagine he meant get bitten by Dracula. He's written get sucked by Dracula. Fair play.
Well, he can get sucked.
Well, there you go. What are you choosing? What's your poison there?
Sorry, what were options A to E again?
You can get sucked off by Dracula, bump into Bigfoot in the woods, abducted by an alien for 48 hours, or haunted by a ghost.
What am I doing in the woods in the first place?
Trying to get away from trick or treaters, I imagine.
Oh, good one.
And Dracula with those teeth, because I mean,
Dracula,
that's not a nice.
If he takes the teeth off, and it could be a she. Could be a she. We're not. No discrimination here.
Bigfoot. Just to,
You would bump into Bigfoot for
just to confirm that. How do we know he's not a good fella?
Are you going to stand there and go, are you hiding from trick or treaters as well, lad?
Listen, we're all going to be in Aldi.
Yeah. The end of the day.
All right, but you've got to choose one of these, whether you're in Aldi or not.
At the end of the day, Bigfoot is the king of hide and seek.
He is the king of hide and seek. We've discussed this before.
You've done really well.
Yeah, you are the hide and seek winner.
What if Bigfoot wants to? No, I'll leave.
No. Bigfoot isn't going all Dracula on you.
No, I don't think that's
so go on, Dave. What are you going for?
Unethical.
So Dracula, Bigfoot. What else was
there? A ghost or abducted by an alien for 48 hours.
I'd probably go, as long as I was guaranteed to come back.
Yeah. You'd go with the aliens, wouldn't you?
The alien, yeah, absolutely. Okay. Because I think that would be a fascinating little insight. I think my concern would be that whether you would go with that option, but not knowing if you're going to come back again.
Yeah,
I tend to play safe when it comes to alien abduction.
Yeah. I think you've got
to take a good probing.
Well, that's it. So it's either a probing or a suck.
The ghost one would be interesting, though, as well, though.
Haunted by a ghost, though. It isn't just sat chatting with a ghost, is it? And how long are you getting haunted? If it's the rest of your life, what's the point?
Well, I mean, if it's the rest of your life, that's a big commitment.
It's a huge commitment.
What if you need to go to the Aldi?
On both sides.
At the Aldi?
Yeah, for both sides. What if he's busy?
Yeah, he mightn't want to.
He's like, I've been given this job, but actually I've got to be off for that.
Yeah, no, I think I might go with the suck off Dracula, maybe. Stuart says, it's Halloween, so if you had to be a supernatural creature, what would you be?
Werewolf.
You love them.
I can write. You can write for the Mail. Then.
Werewolves, you love. You could write for the Mail stories about Everton for the Mail.
No, werewolves for most of the month. You sound.
Yeah.
And then full moon, which is like a couple of days. And you
no, but if you just out and about and then the moon gets you.
You could be dancing in the moonlight.
Exactly.
You could just be dancing in the moonlight.
Then you'd be howling at the moon, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It's okay. Dave, what are you thinking?
Well, I can't think of any of the mythical. What was it? Any
I mean, I've just named 4 for you.
Yeah.
A ghost, an alien.
Oh, hang on. Are we still on that
Bigfoot,
question?
Dracula. No, it's the next one, but a supernatural creature.
Is a mermaid a supernatural creature? Or a merman?
But do you want to be a mermaid, though?
No, do you know?
Wet all the time.
I think it's very limiting because
Yeah,
without any walking ability, you just like flop around all over the place.
Most of the whoa, hang on.
Dracula could sort that out for you.
Most of the earth is water.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of you could find out a lot of. You could go down to the Titanic, have a little look.
Yeah, but hang on. Remember when they did that last time? That didn't end well, did it?
No, it didn't.
But they were mermaids. That's why.
No,
yeah,
true. But
quite
I mean, that was
they
a
were
misguided
billionaires.
choice, wasn't it?
It wasn't a good one. It wasn't a good choice, that one.
But the oceans are vast.
I thought you meant in the Mersey, go to the Titanic.
No.
We're going to say, yeah, but you're here to go in. You'd have to crack an hotel, that. Bit cold down at the dock. Evertonians are going to be freezing down here.
You've got coconut shells.
True.
Or whatever.
True.
Or was that just Baloo?
No, area.
Why would the mermaid have coconut shells?
Well, because she knew.
Sorry, just shells.
She knew. Well, she had the hair, didn't she? Really?
Well, it was covering a modesty.
Well, yeah, but when she's swimming, the hair's not there, is it? The hair's going to be real.
Not unless she's got some strong tape.
Tit tape.
The tit tape can do stuff.
They are.
I don't know whether mermaids would have had tit tape, though.
They are vile creatures, mermaids, though. The real ones.
Are they? Yeah.
Yeah, but the
real ones.
No, but they were supposed. The real
ones.
They were supposed to, with their sirens, attract sailors onto the rocks.
Of course, yeah.
So they could kill them.
Why would they want to kill them, though?
To eat them.
To eat them.
Yeah, they were horrible. But they've been Disney-fied.
Nothing on with that. Hey, nothing on with that.
The next minute, they're everyone's mate. That's what I'm saying. Just saying it.
Okay.
Do you know? I've never thought about that before.
No, I haven't. You've gone dark. You've gone dark.
It's an education.
It gets you thinking, Dave.
Even the Little Mermaid in the book, every step she took was
every move she made.
No, every step she took was like
she'll be watching you.
She was like she had a broken leg. That was what she had to give up. If you want legs, every step will be
painful,
devastatingly painful. That's in the book, not in the cartoon.
No.
In the cartoon, she's just flancing about
in a nice summer dress. We don't want to limp and
want to live up there.
Pain.
Live up there. That's it with Eric.
With big Eric
and the seagulls that Ned won't even fight.
Won't fight.
House.
They'd have Ned off them seagulls. I'm telling you. Derek says, what will the pump house at Bramley-Moor Dock be?
What's that got to do with?
I don't know. That's not
Dracula?
Random or Dracula or Halloween. Glenn Watson says, would you rather live till 150 at your current age in fitness?
Yeah.
But you never see your reflection or shadow again. You can't see photos of yourself. Or live a normal life.
I'll leave that for Dave because I think everyone knows my answer on that.
Yeah, well, you've already said you're going to 150.
Go on, Dave.
So.
Well, it's got to be option A because I could quite happily never see another reflection or photograph of myself.
Exactly.
Yet you could then live to 150 in the current
form. Yeah,
well, I mean, it's simple. I mean, the only people that are not going to vote for that are,
narcissistic
Instagram generators.
Exactly.
So Ned wouldn't be able to do it.
Who cares what if you saw your shadow again? I'm a bleeding Peter Pan.
Because the shadow's not there.
What use is a shadow? What benefit does a shadow ever add? Like, you never seen a film? Look at the end of Heat, spoilers, he sees De Niro's shadow and he knows where he's standing, he shoots him and he kills him. That's not a help.
So shadows are hindrances in some respects, aren't they?
Oh, they're bollocks.
Okay.
Well, unless you're using them for the protection of UV rays. And then maybe a shadow could be a benefit.
But are you using a shadow for a protection of a UV?
Well, it could be a shadow from a parasol, you see, Barrington.
More shadow, though, Dave.
Yeah.
Play by the
That's just shadows in general.
Okay. Well, what about if you were stood next to Bigfoot, right? If you were stood next to Bigfoot, you're talking about like a big shadow, therefore, could actually keep safe from harmful UV rays, like a whole village.
Well, yeah.
I use factor 50.
Yeah.
It does me fine.
So do I.
Okay,
It does me fine.
Glenn also says, what's the best part of a roast dinner that is not the meat or the potatoes. Options include, but aren't limited to the stuffing, cauliflower cheese, gravy, sauces, bread, cranberry. Yorkshire pudding.
The only answer.
The only answer. The only answer. Gareth Hughes says, which celeb is the worst footballer you have ever seen or played with? Side note, Ned is not a celeb, so he doesn't count.
I've only played with... Hang on. How many celebs have I played with? Lee Latchford Evans from Steps.
He's an Evertonian.
Yeah, played footy with...
Was he all right?
He was all right. Donny Tourette's, who was once a celebrity. And Dave will know exactly who Donny Tourette's is.
Is he the lad from Big Brother?
Yeah. And who was the other celebrity who had with us on that? Oh, Simon O'Brien. Who was sound.
But he's a decent footy player.
He used to play for Dovedale Towers. He was all right. They're the only celebs I've ever played with. And they were all right. Donny Tourette's had already started drinking when we started playing, but that's a different story. He was on the side of me.
Played at Bellevue.
Bellevue.
And he's all right.
Yeah, but we embarrassed him.
No, but he was okay.
We as a partnership,
we destroyed him. But he was all right.
Yeah, he was all right.
He wasn't bad.
Well, I've played with a few Everton players, and clearly they were mostly all right.
They were, but it goes against it, doesn't it? Because they're not footballers. So,
well, you must have played with.
I played in a testimonial game for Mickey Thomas, and he was all right.
Mickey T
in Wales. Yeah,
Mickey Teaser was a good player,
and he was a very good player.
Dave? Come on, you must have some stories.
I've never played with any celebrities in a sporting arena. However, when you first said that, the first image that came to mind, even though he's not a celebrity, was that famous clip of Boris Johnson when he was playing in was that
Reading, wasn't it?
Was it something where he goes and he does that
the German.
What's the rugby tackle?
Yeah, it was England versus Germany.
England beat Germany in the end. He smashed
that's still one of the daftest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, but not as bad as the one. You ever see the one against the kid? That he took. There's one. Honestly, want to look for it. There's like one. He takes a kid out in rugby. Like literally can't help himself and falls and ends up just like literally. It was basically if you watched his political career.
Oh, okay.
In a fall.
It was. He made the very end.
No, honestly.
But yeah.
I would have thought you would have been in every like soccer.
Yeah, I did.
Dave, what's going on?
No. I mean, I have been to. I've been to Soccer Six, and actually, in a positive light, one of the celebrities from yesteryear, who I was impressed how good a player he was, more so than I perhaps thought he would be, was Angus Deaton. Formerly of Have I Got News for You?
Manchester United fan.
I mean, that's obviously what he's most famous for.
Yeah.
He was a better player than we had given him credit for.
Fair play.
So there you go.
I am surprised, Dave, that you haven't been part of some of like
disappointed.
Those. Yeah.
Well, there we go.
I think you would have been down for Soccer Aid at some stage if it was like now and Dave was like at the height, either being involved in Soccer Aid.
Your height was like when the match was on.
You should have been on the match, Dave.
Jonathan
Sky Wilkes. Up there.
Well, but there's
Little.
There's the other aspect in all of this that you are overlooking, in that I'm shit at football.
That's not isn't an aspect. Doesn't come into it.
No. The match, especially, you get coached. You went up to Newcastle. You had a week's training.
You and Graham Taylor would have been.
Graham Taylor would have been. You'd have been. Could have took Phil Neal's place. Couldn't you?
Maybe I've missed my window.
Mine was quite controversial, wasn't it? I mean, mine was Neil Warnock was picking me to be in a celebrity game that was on Sky, and the other lad who didn't get in had a bit of a titty lip, and he locked me in a changing room.
Oh, really?
He locked me. He went, "You're going to have to go in this changing room because he's kicking off."
What's that to do with you?
Like, "What's it got to do with me?" And they were like, "Yeah, he's fuming and blah blah blah." And I was like, "What's that got to do with me?" Yeah. Neil, have a word with Neil Warnock.
Neil Warnock.
He picked me.
Why didn't he just pick the both of you?
Because it was one per age.
Oh, okay.
And I got picked, and he was kicking off on me.
It's not your fault.
But anyone who's ever watched me play football, know I deserve to be in it. You know what? It's as simple as that.
Fair play.
Simple as that.
It's that arrogance that I love.
Exactly.
I love that. That sets you apart.
He came to my house at 7 o'clock in the morning to start filming and made me late to get down to Birmingham City's training ground.
No, well, you deserve to be in it then.
So, exactly.
Don't you?
Exactly. And then the guy was going, this has all been set up for you to be in it. I was like, no, mate, I've just got a better personality than you. And they wanted me to feature me. And I'm
probably a better footballer than you.
And I'm also a better footballer than you. So take humble pie and piss off.
Yeah. And again, spoken, nicely, without arrogance.
Stuart, I apologise.
Stuart Pearce.
Stuart Twist.
What a name.
I know.
Stuart Twist.
Who didn't know whether to stick. You call him Oliver? Surely you call him Oliver.
The worst was on the night of the thing.
You said, piss off, Oliver, and go and get some food.
We were at the David Beckham, and this is like one of my only like stories, but we were at the David Beckham Academy by the O2, and in the changing room before, Big Nev had got wind of this story, and he's in the audience, you know. They've brought him down in case like you get an injury. It's like, oh, you're going to have to perform tonight, aren't you? Because, you know, he's going to be there and everyone's going to know that he's better. You know, and I was like, thanks, Nev.
Did you not know whether to stick or twist? No?
Yeah.
Good way to finish.
Yeah. I think that is a way to... It
was a great story.
It's a way to finish.
It was a
brilliant... There was a very young Jason Manford did the after show.
Oh, okay.
He was presenting it and I was on the couch again live. And it was
Jason Manford, though, is actually... He's... And I don't mean this to come over in a bad way, but he's significantly younger than I think most of us think he is.
Yeah. And he
always has been. And do you not think?
He's a big star now, isn't he? So
he's funny.
Absolutely.
Funny fella.
No, absolutely fair play to him. But I was... Again, I don't know whether this sounds like an unkind thing to say, but I was surprised by how young he is.
And also, I mean, there's a link. This should be Dave. He was also
I know what you're going to say.
Winner of the Masked Singer. And I believe Dave should be on the Masked Singer.
How are you not on the Masked Singer?
I have no idea.
Dave, you need a better, and I'm being serious here, you need a better agent.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff.
I need an agent, full stop.
Yeah.
Well, get an agent. I'm not being funny, mate. There's enough stuff out there now that you could be part and should be part of.
Yeah, I think, Dave, you should be on the Masked Singer.
Something needs to change, mate. You need to change your... Get to Aldi, get to that middle aisle, and then get yourself a bleeding agent while you're at it.
I would love to hear like Rita Ora screaming that she thinks you're Donny Osmond or someone.
I just love to hear Rita Ora screaming, I'll be honest.
The way I set that up for you was...
Yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, it's difficult to know which was the better ending out of that,
or Dracula,
or Dracula, or the stick or twist. You know, there's so many.
There's so many to choose. We could have alternate.
It's like create your own adventure.
It is, but I'm being serious. You should be on a few of these things, Dave. You're at your prime for it. Really?
Maybe.
Everyone's making a comeback, Dave. Everyone.
Maybe I need. Maybe I need representation.
No, I mean, on TV. He's done Dancing on Ice 10 years ago.
Dave's never been away.
I have. I've been away for decades.
He needs to be back.
And that's a conservative estimate.
Right.
It's always about making comebacks, and I think it's the time is right.
It
As
is.
Maloko said.
And Maloko did say it. So it's up to you. So get it sorted. Get it sorted.
There you go.
Let's leave it there. That's before twist stories come out again. Dave,
I think we should always record at this time.
Always. It's
so much more energy.
It's a different energy.
I'm looking at Dave. It's like his room's so bright. And I can see him. He looks great, and it looks dead cozy. That window.
Why are the kids at the window?
That window belongs. That window belongs to Midsummer Murders.
It's a townhouse. They need to be on like
It's in the townhouse. You can see you're recording in the townhouse.
Recording in the townhouse. Very clean. Great parking. Right, on that note, we're going to leave it. We're going to allow Dave to go and do a commando roll into his car and get to Aldi to escape said trick or treaters. If you make sure you give the video a like this, give it loads of stars.
You can find this podcast anywhere, which is weird to say because you're already listening to it.
Yeah.
But if you...
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends if you want a good podcast for an hour. You can find this everywhere you find good podcasts and rubbish ones as well.
Yeah. They're all there. They're all inclusive.
They're all there.
But big thanks to Dave, and we'll see you later. Take it easy. Bye.
Cheers, boys.
Bye. Bye.